Sweet guy, and he's a professional comedian, I know, because he brags about it to me all the time. The gig he just had and how he got paid big bucks for it. Not getting paid such big bucks for this one, but let's give it up for the exciting, the one and only, Brendan Loftis.
Thank you, everybody. Let's give it up for Elijah Bohlen. And of course, Shay and Davion as well. Davion, you got the chops, bro. That was so good, man. My goodness. Well, thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun. Already. And this is just a blast. So, Joey, thank you for the introduction. I have to say, being a hype man is not that easy, and I speak with some authority in this field. I was a hype man once. Do we have any fans in the building of Christian rock? Okay. No, okay. Christian rock is terrible. We all know that, okay? But I was at a Christian rock concert. It's like admitting I did drugs once. I was at a Christian rock concert, yeah. I didn't even want to go. I was naked, so... I was at a Christian rock concert once. It was 1,000-foot crutch. It was in Denver. It was sold out. Over 1,000 people coming to the concert. And I knew the people putting the concert on. 30 seconds before the band is about to go on stage, the guy putting the concert on calls me over and says, "Brandon, I want you to run out on stage, and I want you to get the crowd hyped up." And he hands me 6 t-shirts for 1,000 people. And I am jazzed. I'm like, this is the opportunity of a lifetime, right? People are going to see me. I don't know, probably interviews on the news. It was like, you made that concert what it was because of those 6 t-shirts. And I run out on stage, and I am all of a sudden super nervous because everybody's looking at me. And I lock and load, my bad. I lock and load, and I take the first t-shirt, and I try to just lob it into the crowd as far as I can, but I'm so nervous I hold on to the t-shirt for like 1 second too long, and I absolutely, in front of 1,000 Christian eyes, I want in the front row, I 100% laser a little kid in a wheelchair. Not even kidding, that happened. Hit a little kid in a wheelchair with a t-shirt in front of 1,000 people, and to the people in the crowd, you can't tell if I just messed up a throw or not, right? I just looked like a terrorist. But I just ran out on stage and was like, who do I hate? Wheelchair kid. Bam! Nice wheels, huh? Keep those bad boys inflated. Man, so Joey, I appreciate you getting the crowd all hyped up. And like I said, I speak with authority because I know what I'm doing to rile the crowd. Oh my goodness. So yes, I'm Brandon Loftis. I'm a local comedian here. I'm 29 years old in 1 month, so be the math, 28 still. And man, this weather, it's something else, huh? I don't wear a coat in the winter to show dominance over lesser men. I notice there are a lot of coats in the audience tonight. Dakota going straight up overall still. At what point in your life did you realize you were a woman? You still working on that transition, bud? Man. No, so I don't wear a coat. I went to the doctor recently and I was bragging about how I don't wear a coat. And he was like, "Brandon, that's really bad that you don't need to wear a coat in the wintertime. He goes, you have the BMI of an Alaskan walrus." He was like, "You need to go to McDonald's way less, okay?" And I would like to proudly say that since that appointment, I have not gone to McDonald's one time, and I've been at Taco Bell every day. Man. You know it's time to lose weight when the doctor's visit is more like a roast than a medical checkup. Like, you really went after my heart health there. Take it easy, doc, you know? Oh, goodness. So, yeah, let's see here. I got so much Mexican takeout during COVID that I started to get McDonald's ads in Spanish. You know, that was really rough. Me and my wife, I'm sorry about this one, but we've been playing this game. It's called Sexy Librarian. And I crawl into bed and she reads a book while I sit there quietly. I am married. Sorry. She's married to start getting done. That's your wife. She's been looking at me like the whole time I've been up here. So, I just wanted to address the elephant in the room that this is strictly platonic, okay? Oh my goodness, I'm not even going to go there. BLM, okay. Gosh, this is going so poorly. I'm going to end up canceled for sure. Oh my gosh, I don't even remember where I was going with that. We have a son. He's back there with my wife. Thank you. His name is Magnus, which is Latin for great, which is really cool. And it's kind of nerve-wracking when you got to name your kid. Because you're like, what if they don't lean in? What if they don't live up to the destiny that I'm setting for him? I want him to do great things. But what if he's like my friend, who totally is opposite his name? He owns no guns. He's a vegetarian, and his name is Hunter. It's like, oh my gosh, what a letdown, right? That's a huge identity crisis. My gosh, so just hoping that Magnus can live up to his name and do some really great things, man. I'm a terrible person, as you may have noticed. This joke is new. I've never tried this, so we'll see how this goes. I wouldn't say that it's murder, but I may be guilty of manslaughter. My wife used to work at a nursing home, and we share a Spotify account, which is fun, because I can see what songs she's currently playing, such as the Beach Boys and Elvis. And then every once in a while, I would just throw one up in the queue. It's like, doesn't matter, it's not going to affect my life. And I get home, and my wife's pretty upset with me, because she goes, Brandon, you almost killed a resident today. Jerry, what's that whispering? You guys know that song? Well, think about put that guy in a cardiac arrest. Anyway, like I said, probably wouldn't be considered murder, but manslaughter. But you can't spell slaughter without laughter, right? You can take that one home. My gosh, okay. 2020 is coming and gone. It's 2023 in just a few short days. We're very excited about that. Michelle is, at least. I don't know what you guys are doing. But it's going to be 2020 is going to be 3 years past now. And I would say, I know it was a tough year for a lot of people, but I handled 2020 like a true rock star. I got super addicted to drugs and alcohol, and then eventually got kicked out of rehab. That one usually works, so that's not really what I did. But I did trade in one addiction from drugs. Now I'm addicted to chocolate. They say women love chocolate. Is that the truth, ladies? You love chocolate? Man, I love chocolate so much. I eat a lot of it. I love chocolate so much. My pronoun should be her, she. That joke works on 2 levels. Her, she. Hershey's chocolate and a woman, her, she, joining Dakota in the race. Which is fitting because you are a runner, right? That's great. Oh man, guys, any Bismarck natives in here? You guys from here? Okay, and there we go. CHS, anyone? Okay. Yeah, what about BHS? Okay, bit of a high school rivalry. Coming in hot for the demons. That's not very Christian of you. That's okay. I love a good high school rivalry. You know my favorite high school rivalry? Is the school for the blind versus the school for the deaf. Man, that one is super. Those games, that homecoming game is awesome. I'm going there, Don. It is awesome, man. You know, the blind players, they never stay in bounds. The deaf players, they never stop at the whistle. And then the deaf cheerleaders, they come out and they're like, super fun to watch. Super fun to watch. And I tell you what, love me a good high school rivalry. Dickinson Midgets. Anyone? Okay, that one has just been on my heart and mind to preach about for a long time. What the heck, North Dakota? Hey, that has been the Dickinson mascot since the 1930s. And the LPAA, that's the Little Peoples of America Association, if you didn't know, they have petitioned the city of Dickinson 5 times to get the name changed. And Dickinson digs in its heels, which in 2019, 65% of the city voted yes to keeping the midgets, which I just think is so weird and insensitive. And I was thinking about the Dickinson midgets, and I was like, wonder what the hardest part of being a midget and fighting for yourself, being an advocate and an activist. And I was like, I bet you the hardest part about being a midget and an activist is reaching the microphone. That's gotta be pretty tough. It's gotta be pretty tough. Oh my gosh. I'm a terrible person, like I said. This is awful. I played in a Fortnite tournament recently because I'm a little kid. But I work full time and have a son and a wife, so I don't get to play much. I don't even know, I paid $10 to be in this tournament like an idiot. Like that was going to do anything. I could put food in my son's mouth, and I said, nope, video games. Terrible father. I lost to a 12-year-old kid, of course. And I will say, he lost the boxing tournament afterwards. So that was unofficial. I met him in the alleyway behind. But he was a tough kid. It was actually pretty close. He gave me a pretty good shiner. And when people would reference, like, hey, nice black guy there, I was like, you should see the other kid. It was pretty, it really almost knocked me out there, man. Absolutely crazy. Kids, they're weird. Like this kid, I was at Starbucks recently, and he starts screaming in the middle of the lobby, my butt hurts! 3 times, shouts it at the top of his lungs. Everybody's looking, the mom's like trying to hide, not even dealing with it. Everybody's looking, and then it was super weird because the barista leaned over and was like, would you like whipped cream on that? Super weird. The answer is always yes, by the way, in case you were wondering. Oh my goodness. A few stories from my childhood about being a kid. I had this friend, and he was my best friend. His name is Taylor. And it was my birthday coming up in 1 week. And I went to his house, and I had no idea what my birthday party was going to be. My mom said, we're going to do something, but we won't tell you what it is. I go to my friend's house, and he goes, hey man, I got you a letter. First off, I'm 10 years old. I'm not writing letters, right? And I'm like, what letter are you talking about? And he goes, oh, the one that says, shh, don't tell Brandon, it's a secret. And then tells us, this is a true story, by the way, he says, the one that then tells us the address and directions to your house. I was like, you know what, Taylor? I bet you that was a surprise party. What gave it away? And so I realized in that moment that my son Taylor, my friend Taylor, was an idiot. And then it kind of makes you wonder, like, if you're known by the company you keep, what do people think about me? So that was troubling. And then a few months go by, and I'm at a birthday party at Raging Rivers. And they didn't give us any straws, but they gave us cups of Pepsi. The birthday boy is sitting at the head of the table, and just as everybody starts to sing Happy Birthday, I take a sip of Pepsi. Everybody starts singing, and I'm still in the Pepsi, and I swallow an ice cube, and I start to choke. And everybody's like, Happy Birthday, and I'm sitting there like, and I just start panicking, so I just start whacking the table as hard as I can. Everybody just thinks, oh, well, he's friends with Taylor, so he is an idiot. So everybody just thinks I'm drumming off beat, and nobody's paying attention to me, so then poor Jacob next to me, I just start whacking him as hard as I can. I literally leave a 5-star handprint on his back, and he goes, ow, 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 and he looks over at me, and then I just vomit all over the table. And I like to think about stories from other people's perspectives. I'm an empathetic guy, right? Poor Jacob, I just imagine halfway through Happy Birthday, all of a sudden he gets assaulted, and then his assailant, he looks over and throws up on his lap. And I was like, man, that must have been really, really weird that happened. Man, another weird perspective let my dog out in the front yard where we had a street light when he was a puppy. And so I'd let him out in the front line, go do his business, and come back in. One night, no shirt, only in my boxers. I walk out on the porch, and I call my dog, "Go potty, go potty, go potty, mister." He's a man, it's 3 a.m. There's a man walking by on the sidewalk. My dog never came outside. And I like to think about things from his perspective. He's probably like stumbling home from the bar. He's like, some naked dude just told me to go potty. Go potty. He's probably like, I gotta get off this sauce. I cure his alcoholism, probably. So, man, super interesting stuff. Like I said, I am married. Women's products, those things, they really confuse me. Not the women's product. Oh, get your mind out of the gutter. I'm talking about makeup specifically. She'll send me to go get like mascara or whatever. I don't know what they all are, but you walk in to the women's aisle, and I don't understand how every single thing looks exactly the same and yet is vastly different. So annoying. I walk into the men's aisle, I don't even look anymore. I just grab a bottle off the shelf and keep walking. Oh, and when I get home, I'm like, oh, it's the men's 5-in-1 product. That's great. I mean, it's shampoo, it's conditioner, it's body wash, toothpaste, breakfast. I mean, my goodness. I hit the floor, I'm out the door in 5 minutes. It's amazing. You probably change your oil with this stuff. It's absolutely incredible. So much easier to be a dude than it is to be a lady. Oh man, I have one little complaint. My wife, she's amazing, but once in a while, I shave, I trim the beard, and once in a while, I leave a whisker. I clean up after myself, but one whisker on the countertop, and I hear about it, but I don't protest at all when I step into the shower, and there's shag carpeting on the wall made of my wife's hair. I'm like, what are you doing? I don't understand how there's so much hair here, so much hair still here. I'm like, you should statistically, hair to shower ratio, you should statistically be bald. But she's not, and I just don't get it. She's like, trying to go little smileys in it. That's my wife. She's amazing. Before I was married, I'll close with this. Before I was married, I had this weird roommate. This was down in Colorado. And he was kind of a racially ambiguous guy. We didn't know exactly what he was. And in the same week, we found out 2 very important things about the man. We found out, number 1, he was Asian. No who, okay, whatever. We found out he was Asian. And number 2, we found out that he was a pedophile. I moved out as soon as I learned he was Asian. That joke has aged very well since COVID. Let me tell you. Oh my goodness. All right, Joey Bohlen, that's my time. Guys, thank you. Give it back to Joe.
That was amazing. Brendan Loftis, everybody. I introduced him as a great friend and a great guy as we learned